To support this show, go to patreon.com/5G4D. From the kitchen of the cabin, it's the 5 Games for Doomsday review. Alien Artifacts. Late-stage capitalism is a doozy. A desiccant political system that sucks money and vivacity from everyone who has the gall to have not been born into the patrician class and replaces those vital juices with the warm embrace of consumer goods. It wasn't always thus. There was a time when gain and equity struck an uneasy truce. This resulted in the red brick universities and the angry young men of Arnold Wesker and John Osborne. There was a time when unions presented a visible and effective bulwark against the natural rapaciousness of the sniggering, monocled industrialists. Everyone had a stake in the railways and the hospitals and the schools, but this brittle truce couldn't hold for long, and the tyranny of the few over the many reasserted itself. With Thatcher and Reagan came the dismantling of the work of Anurin, Bevin and FDR. There was a rush on bootstraps as people desperately tried to defy gravity, and the fruits of labour were parcelled up and transported to the more salubrious parts of town. With the public services hobbled beyond decent perambulation, it came time to start on the workplace. This haven of security and social placement was far too comfortable to yield perfect profit, so scalpels, then axes, and then sledgehammers were taken to labour legislation. Fast forward 40 years, and the culmination of these labours is the 0-hour contract and the unpaid internship. Conceits so exquisitely evil and so in contradiction with the basic principles of the employer-employee relationship that they seem like statement pieces, works of absurdist art that pay homage to the ability of greed to be constantly fed. Late-stage capitalism has made a virtue of exhaustion and unnecessary sacrifice. If you can never see your kids or work 50 hours a week of unpaid overtime, you win a prize. The prize of continued employment. Until we consider your department antithetical to the vertical flow of cash, then you're out on your ear, and we've ensured there's nothing you can do about it. This is why no one has any time anymore, and our experiences, like the eponymous soup, have to be condensed into those precious hours when we're not dreaming about work or working. This makes it incumbent on the providers of entertainment to make their wares short and snappy, but profound and nourishing. Board games aren't immune from this. We see it in the repeated implementation of big games into small games, the quest for the perfect 1-hour Euro, and the short 4X. 4X games stand atop the pile of board game genres as the undisputed purveyors of the epic. Whole days consumed with building spaceships and fighting neighbouring galaxies. But as most of us are just finishing our 27th shift from our 14th job, we don't have time for such decadence. We are hungry for the true El Dorado of gaming, the 4X played in under an hour. But that can't be done. Can it? Well, Portal Games claims it can, and not only that, they claim they've only gone and bloody done it with their Campbell's cream of mushroom soup-inspired card game, Alien Artifacts. They claim they produced a 4X experience in under an hour. But have they? Really? Have they? The short answer is no. The longer answer is what follows. Alien Artifacts is a card game set in space, and while it isn't designed by Ignacy Trzewiczek, his development fingerprints are all over it. It employs the tropes of a 4X, from the star-strewn art depicting hulking spaceships to the Clarkian technologies, the varied races that players can inhabit. All of that is there. But this is just drapery over an engine-building card game that is good. Very good, in fact. But it's not a 4X game. Alien Artifacts employs the rapid turn so beloved of Gil Hover and Jamie Stegmaier. Players have one action, draw resources up to their hand limit, then play zips around the table like bursts of quanta until it's the player's turn again. Your galactic realm is set in front of you. It consists of a player mat and cards that will be placed when bought into your construction side before you pay the resources necessary to place them into your empire, and only then will they become operative. These different sides offer different things, from buffs to building further cards to the ability to attack or score endgame points, and it is the decision of how to deploy your cards and when that is the heart of this game. How to trigger beneficial relationships between cards and construct a machine that will yield points and eventually victory. In these elements, the game is fantastic. It's a beautifully honed design. Turns are short but meaningful. Complementary card powers rebound off each other like careening atoms, and these lightning-quick turns keep you in the game and feeling clever. At all player counts, the experience is taut, tense, and enjoyable. I'm hugely impatient, and the sublimation of turns into tight little vignettes is a real plus. Then there are the artifacts. They're difficult to obtain, but when you do eventually get one, the sheer absurdity of their power fires off all those pleasant little neurons in the brain. Points are scarce in this game, and players are often given the choice between a precious point or an artifact, but these artifacts are so much fun that only the dourest of players would consider something as prosaic as points as an adequate substitute to the endorphins that these artifacts can provide. Still though, this isn't a 4X game. The four main categories of cards are further subdivided into types that are denoted by one of the X words, but just because those words are printed on cards doesn't mean that you feel at any point that you're exploring, exploiting, expanding, or exterminating. This is a game of finding card synergies, not questing into the galaxy. There is a wonderfully unobtrusive combat system in the game, but the battles are short and more in the wheelhouse of Star Realms rather than Twilight Imperium. All of this doesn't diminish the game for me at all, though. Alien Artifact is a wonderfully slick game of card interactions, and I had a great time playing it. It's not 4X, but it certainly may be 4 stars. What Portal has done is produce a seriously enjoyable card game, and that is more than enough to recommend it. So, if after your 345th consecutive day of working, you found a brief, sweet hour in which to enjoy a game, Alien Artifacts might be a better alternative to Kuroshi. To support this podcast and to ensure more reviews like this, go to patreon.com/5G for D. Thank you very much.